Thank you for this afternoon. Just to advise you that we have to follow the quarter clock, so to be in compliance with the OGA. So I ask for your patience. Thank you. Again, good afternoon and welcome. On behalf of the members of the Standing Committee of the Executive Appointment and Government Investigation, would like to welcome the Governor's Rep, Mr. Joe De La Cruz, the appointee, Mr. William M. Singh, dignitaries, elected officials, and members of the general public. Before we proceed forward with this public hearing, let me first introduce the member of the Standing Committee. To my right side is Mr. or rather Senator Carl King Neighbors from the 2nd Senatorial District, Tinian. And next to him is the floor leader of the Senate, Senator Vini Sablan from the 3rd Senatorial District, Saipan. And I'm the chairman of this committee, Senator Francisco Q. Cruz from the 2nd Senatorial District, Tinian. I would also like to announce a couple of things. in the interest of informational purposes regarding code of conduct during this public hearing. Today, the members of this standing committee are conducting a public hearing on the appointment of Mr. William M. Singh to serve as the member of the Northern Knowledge College Board of Regents to represent the island of Tinian. The public will be invited to make comments as to whether you support or oppose the appointee before us this afternoon. However, any comments beyond the facts of the appointee or comments that are not directly related with this public hearing will not be entertained, and such comment will be removed from the record. At the same time, please observe minimal noises in disrupting this hearing process. Please turn your electronic to a silent mode. Thank you. Let us now begin. This public hearing is now in session. Today is July 12, 2022, at approximately 1:35, or rather 1:33 in the afternoon, here in the Tinian Courthouse, San Jose, Tinian. This is a public hearing regarding the appointment of Mr. William M. Singh by Governor Rob DeLongre Torres to serve as a member of the Northern Knowledge College Board of Regents, representing the island of Tinian, pursuant to 3 CMC, subsection 1311. Ms. Jolene Tagubel will be our clerk for this hearing. Mr. John Santos will be our sergeant at arms. Mr. Jonathan Diaz will be covering the IT. I think the Legislative Bureau Facebook, and Mr. Joe Mumudis will be our legal counsel for this public hearing, and they all will serve accordingly. At this time, I'd like to ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Senator Francisco Q. Cruz,
Here.
Senator Victor B. Hopgood, Senator Carl R. King Neighbors, Senator Justo S. Kilgore, Senator Vinny F. Sablon. Mr. Chairman, 3 members are present, 2 members are absent.
Thank you, Jolene. With 3 members present, we have the necessary number to proceed with this public hearing. However, the Vice Chairman of this committee, Senator Victor Hopgood from the 1st Senator District, is excused, as well as the Vice President of the Senate, Senator Justo Kiruga, is also excused for this public hearing. At this time, I would like to ask for a motion to adopt our agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to offer a motion to adopt today's meeting agenda.
Second.
Seconded.
There's a motion for the adoption of today's public hearing agenda and was seconded. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. At this time, I'd like to ask Sergeant on to please have the governor's rep and as well as the appointee. And sir, before you proceed with your testimony, in introducing the committee with the governor's appointee, please state your name for the record. Thank you.
Honorable Chairman Cruz and the honorable member of this committee. For the record, my name is Jose M. de la Cruz, Governor's representative under the Office of the Governor. I'm here on behalf of Governor Rob DeLongre Torres to formally introduce Mr. William M. Singh, Governor's nominee to serve as member on the Northern Marianas Board of Regents representing the 2nd Senatorial District, Tinian. By this time, Mr. Chairman, you should have in your possession Mr. Singh's resume describing his professional experiences and also his educational background. I know that he stands ready to answer your questions and report on his future plans for the region. Therefore, on behalf of Governor Rob DeLongre Torres, I humbly request for your support and favorable decision in confirming the appointment to serve as a member on the Northern Marianas College Board of Regents. Thank you, si Jesus Maasi. Maraming salamat po, Angeliso, for the opportunity to introduce our nominee to this august body.
Thank you, Mr. De La Cruz. And before I recognize the appointee, Mr. Singh, kindly stand and raise your right hand so the clerk can administer the oath.
Mr. William Mendiola Singh, you do solemnly swear under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you shall give in the matter at hand shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jolene. Mr. Singh, I know that you have complied with the committee's documents that is required to review. And if you have anything else to share with us this afternoon, feel free. But before you begin, please state your name for the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of this confirming body. My name is William M. Singh. I'm the nominee for the Board of Regents for the Northern Marianas College. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of this committee. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before this committee for a confirmation hearing. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, in granting my request to have it here on our beautiful island of Tinian. First, I would like to thank Governor Torres for this appointment to this prestigious position as a regent for Northern Marianas College. Secondly, I would also like to thank Mayor Don and the members of the Tinian Legislative Delegation for their recommendation as a nominee. Northern Marianas College is not foreign to me, as you can probably tell from my resume, which I submitted to this committee. You see, back in the late 80s, I was a student of NMC. I took some graduate courses in school leadership in collaboration with San Jose State University. Shortly thereafter, in 1994, I became the NMC Tinian Campus Administrator under President Agnes McPheeters. During my 4-year tenure in this position, it became apparent that there was a need to expand the number of course offerings, but we had no facility at the time to do that. I then approached the late Mayor Herman Mangloña and told him about our community's needs in post-secondary education, and quickly gave me free rein to his construction account, to which he remarked later and jokingly was his biggest regret. Together, we built and renovated the old municipal square into a lively and busy NMC Tinian campus, offering math and English courses, assisting students with their individual degree plans or their IDPs. And from that, we offered courses targeted for students to get their AA degrees. And many of our students went on to receive their degrees, including our very own Senate President Jude Schneider. In addition, we beefed up our land grant programs, now CREASE, with experiments in growing pineapples, sweet potatoes, and countless other farm extension programs to benefit our farmers, as well as programs for the homemakers in areas as sewing and cooking classes. We pioneered the first distance education program right here in Tinian, which I believe is still ongoing. But I had a bigger vision for NMC. We needed a permanent site, and I'm happy to say that I was instrumental in acquiring a large piece of land from public lands designated for the new campus site and land grant facilities. After we acquired and cleared our new site, we also constructed for the farm, we also constructed a land grant building and continued on with our programs for the farmers, including the first tilapia aquaculture project. So now we have land. All we needed was funding for classrooms and other facilities. So with the foresight of the Tinian legislative delegation at the time and the mayor, we were given CIP funding, and the result was Tinian NNC campus as it stands at the moment. That, Mr. Chairman and members of this committee, was my connection with NMC. What I want to see happen, if confirmed as a member, is to find ways to bring back more courses or bring home more training sessions or certification programs that will benefit those students who cannot attend at the main campus, or benefit those employees that may have a need to hone in on their skills. I know that cost is probably a factor in the reduction of course offerings, or it may be low enrollment. But we must continue to strive to ensure that our people are given every opportunity to improve themselves without having to leave home. After leaving NMC with a heavy heart, I continued to be involved with our students by remaining an instructor for adult basic education, as an instructor for adult school, as well as an adjunct faculty for various college courses. If confirmed by this committee, I will join my fellow members in assisting our most able president in making sure that our community's needs in areas of training, certification, and college degrees continue to be met, and most importantly, assist him with hard lobbying efforts for more funding to complete the plans of transforming NMC campus and programs into a 21st century post-secondary institution. Again, thank you, and I stand by to answer questions from members, and hoping that those answers can help in your deliberation for a confirmation as the next Board of Regents representing the island of Tinian. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mrs. Singh, for that well-said testimony. And before I entertain the members of the general public, first I would like to recognize those entities that are invited to participate. First on the list, the municipality of Tinian and Aguiguan, Mayor Edwin Pierdon. Sir. And before you proceed with your testimony, please state your name for the record. Thank you.
You know, when you reach 50, you have extra eyes. Half a day, Tiro, and good afternoon. For the record, my name is Edwin Piaudan, and I am the mayor of the municipality of Tinian and Agiguan. I stand before this committee today to provide my testimony in full support of Mr. William Mendiola Singh to fill the vacant position as Tinian's next representative for the Northern Marianas College Board of Regents. Allow me to begin by acknowledging the presence of the chairman and the members, Senator Cruz, Senator Vini, and Senator Carl, and the distinguished members of this committee, families, friends, and community members. Welcome, and thank you all for being here today for this public hearing for the appointment of Mr. William Mendiola Singh to the Northern Marianas College Board of Regents. Before I express the reasons why I support this appointment, I want to take a moment to thank Ms. Micaela Talan Sanchez for her contributions over the years serving as Tinian's NMC board member. Her contributions to the CNMI and most significantly to the NMC and its students are deeply appreciated. Moving on, Mr. William M. Singh started his career by serving in the United States Army from 1973 to 1981. Following his honorable discharge from the U.S. Army, he decided to pursue his college education, in which he obtained an associate's degree and bachelor's degree. Business administration with an emphasis in human resources management from Hawaii Pacific University. That's the first time I met Mr. Singh when I was still 9 years old and he was working at AAA Hospital. And he's the one who picked me up where I was staying in Waimanalo. After completing his post-secondary education, Mr. Singh decided to return home and assist his community. His employment experience after returning home from being honorably discharged from the military reflects that he held various management positions within the government sector. When he was not employed in the public sector, Mr. Singh worked for the Sinamay public school system as a guidance counselor, high school teacher, school principal. In addition, he also worked for the Northern Marianas College as a campus administrator and handled a few small local businesses of his own. Mr. Singh's employment experience is indeed exemplary and demonstrates that he is no stranger to public service. As someone who has experienced the struggle and triumphs of being a college student, I firmly believe that Mr. Singh will provide valuable guidance and wisdom to assist NMC and its students. He will be a great addition to the Northern Marianas College team. Having a person appointed who can relate to and understand the functions of the agency and the people it serves is an excellent asset to the agency and the CNMI as a whole. With that said, the Senate EAJ Committee Chairman Francisco Cruz and distinguished members for providing. I thank the Senate EAJ Committee Chairman Francisco Cruz and the distinguished members for providing me the opportunity to stand before you today to express my full support for Mr. William Mendiola Singh. I firmly believe that he is worthy and more than qualified for this position. I'm confident that this honorable committee will agree with me after this afternoon's public hearing. I look forward to Mr. Singh's confirmation and his contribution and services to our community as new NMC Board of Regents for Tinian. Thank you, Jesus Mas and Giliso. Good afternoon to everyone.
Thank you, Mayor Don. Members of the 18th Tinian Municipal Council. Good afternoon, Chairman Cruz, members of the Standing Committee. For the record, my name is Joseph E. Santos. I am the Chairman for the 18th Tinian Municipal Council. I appreciate the opportunity to provide this testimony in favor of the Governor's nomination to appoint Mr. William M. Singh to serve as a member of the Northern Marianas College Board of Regents. Mr. William M. Singh is well acquainted with pursuing a higher education, as he was honorably discharged from the United States Army to pursue a college education in Hawaii. After completing his studies at Hawaii Pacific University, Mr. Singh earned a bachelor's degree in business administration with an emphasis in human resources management and an associate's degree in business administration. Additionally, Mr. Singh studied at Northern Marianas College, the University of Guam, and San Jose State University. for graduate level courses. Moreover, Mr. Singh has demonstrated his range of talents and skills while holding various titles. Among them are a PSS guidance counselor, a high school teacher, a general manager of a company, a high school principal, NMC campus administrator, and a plethora of other positions. Having said that, I am quite certain that Mr. Singh will significantly benefit Northern Marianas College as a result of his qualification and prior experience gained from all the hats he has worn. I respectfully request your consideration in expeditiously confirming the appointment of Mr. William M. Singh to serve as a member of the Northern Marianas College Board of Regents. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Santos. Any other member of the 18th Tinac Municipal Council? Okay, this time I'd like to recognize the Northern Marianas College President, Mr. Galvin De Longuero.
Good afternoon, Chairman Cruz and members of the Senate Committee on Executive Appointments and Government Investigations. My name is Galvin De Leon Guerrero, and I am honored to serve our community as the president of Northern Marianas College. I thank you for this opportunity to speak before you today on behalf of the entire NMC community and our Board of Regents led by Chairman Charles Cepeda in support of the appointment of William Mendiola Singh to serve as a member of the Northern Marianas College Board of Regents. As you know, the NMC Board of Regents plays a vital role as it sets the policies that guide all employees and students and leads the strategic direction of the institution. Despite typhoons, economic turbulence, and a global pandemic, the board has led the college in the past few years with plans for new facilities, the launch of a new strategic master plan, and a historic accreditation term of 8 years, the longest in the college's history. Given his experience and expertise, we welcome Mr. Singh to help the college's PROA continuing to sail ahead. Mr. Singh is uniquely qualified to help in that regard, as he has a long and distinguished record in public service. A cursory glance at his resume reveals how wide and varied that service has been, whether serving his country in the military with distinction, guiding the gaming industry here in Tinian through sustainable growth, promoting healthy living in various positions in public health, or developing housing and responsible use of public lands. He also played a critical role in the Tinian Mayor's Office as a former chief of staff overseeing several departments and 150 municipal employees. More importantly, for our purposes today, Mr. Singh has dedicated his life to education, earning both an associate's and a bachelor's degree from Hawaii Pacific University, having served in many leadership positions in the CDMI public school system, and being recognized as a who's who among American students in American colleges and universities. In particular, Mr. Singh knows the college very well as a former campus administrator who spearheaded important initiatives that expanded access and services for the people of Tinian. Above all, Mr. Singh is a man of action who gets things done. Whether in the public sector or in private enterprise, he has inspired others with his can-do attitude, always seeing what is possible for our islands and for our people. This was especially clear during his time operating Marple Valley Poultry Farm, which he founded and ran for almost a decade. By producing fruits and vegetables, working with many farmers on 10 hectares of land, and selling produce to multiple vendors, he demonstrated entrepreneurship and self-sufficiency for all of us. For these reasons, I ask that members of this Senate committee support his appointment during this confirmation process. And if I may go off script a bit, Mr. Singh, we share your commitment to bringing more academic programs to Tinian, and we had some accreditation challenges before, but now we're on solid accreditation footing. We look forward to working with you to do just that. In closing, Northern Marianas College has a rich legacy of providing high quality, affordable, and accessible educational programs and services for the individual and the people of the Commonwealth. Through it all, the college PROA has endured countless challenges, proving that we are Proa strong. And in our strength, in our endurance, in our legacy, we have helped thousands of students and countless others in our community lead productive, meaningful, fruitful lives. We trust that the extensive experience and expertise of Mr. William Mendiola Singh will help us sail ahead with a renewed focus on learning first, lifting the tide for everyone. Again, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak this afternoon in support of confirming Mr. Singh.
Thank you, President Ilongguero. And since you have stated in your statement that you're speaking on behalf of the region, I will not call for any reason at this time. I know that we have a letter of support here from the chairperson. At this time, before I recognize the member of the general public to participate, whether you're in support or not in support, you're welcome to come forward and deliver your testimony. However, before you proceed, I would like again to remind everyone that any comments that is raised that are not directly related with this public hearing will not be entertained. And such comment will be removed from the record. At this time, public comment is now open to anyone in the gallery that wishes to come forward and deliver your testimony. And before you proceed, please state your name for the record. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, no, Mr. Chairman and members, EAGA committee, no, for the record, en honor si Henry H. San Nicolas. Promisente sa pag natalwan ni pabe supporta appointment or nomination no Bill M. Singh Kinyadu para Board of Region para NMC. Esta tawag ka manmofona na speakers pudi zonya experience educational background si kunyo Bill kintodo guizan ezilinga gini na service ti NMC gi as administrator. Por esta razón na toma parecer hamzo da nain izomizono advise and consent da o serve e comunidade ta como member gi Board of Region. Sizus Masi.
Sizus Masi, Mr. San Nicolas. Still open for public comment.
Mr. Chairman, good afternoon, Talambiay. For the record, my name is Jose M. de la Cruz. I'm here. I am also one of the advisory board for the Northern Marianas Creeks, and I'm in full support of Mr. William Singh to serve for the Northern Marianas Board of Region. Mr. Singh has a very vast background on the research facility at the Creeks, Northern Marianas Creeks, and we need him there. I'm also a rancher on the island, and Northern Marianas is always working hand in hand before the farmers and the ranchers on the island. And Mr. Singh is no stranger to fruit production and food initiative that we're trying to put together for this beautiful island. It's about the Son Mizo. Your support in confirming Mr. Singh is really appreciated. Undang ko na si Susmasi.
Sizus Masi, Mr. De La Cruz. Still open for public comment. The NMC family member are also welcome to come forward and deliver testimony, whether you're in support or not in support.
Good afternoon, Chairman and members. I'm fully in support of the nomination of Mr. Bill Singh. Like everyone said, the history of Bill Singh is he's been in our community, he's breathed it, worked it, found solutions, and we're very pleased that he's been nominated. And NMC looks forward into having him as a Board of Region. So I'm in full support. Thank you. My name is Maria Schneider-Uggen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Abgun. Still open for public comment? Once we close public comment, we're not going to go back again to public comment. So this is the opportunity for the members of the general public that are here in the gallery to deliver testimony. Anyone else?
Okay, buenas. My name is Jesus Atalik. I am Mr. Singh is no stranger to the community. Like, everyone says, I have worked with him and I know that, he would bring goodies to our community. So I ask for you guys to support to nominate him to confirm him as our board of region. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Atalik. Still open for public comment? No one else? At this time, public comment is now closed. I would like now to entertain the members of the standing committee to raise questions or concern regards to the appointment of today's public hearing. At this time, I recognize from the 2nd Senatorial District, the Nominee, Senator Carl King Neighbors.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for making the time to be here today. President Dr. G, Director Algun, thank you so much. NMC leadership and admin, Mayor Adan, Congressman Santa Claus, former Senator Santa Claus, former Senator De La Cruz, and Governor Rep. Thank you all. Also, 18th Municipal Council Chairman Joseph Santos, thank you for testimony today. I'd like to open by, first of all, saying thank you to you, Mr. Singh, for accepting this opportunity and to represent the 2nd Senatorial District as an NMC and as an NMC Board of Regent, the nomination. I too have known you for quite a long time since I returned back from my travels. My first meeting with you was under THC, and it was made very clear to me upon working under you that you were a very no-nonsense kind of individual who did not like excuses but wanted solutions. As all the testimonies that were provided today testify to, I've come to really appreciate that about you. I also know you in my current capacity in your efforts under the governor's office for solid waste management, which is a daunting task in and of itself. So to know that you're willing to take on that to include this is very commendable. And again, last week we had another confirmation for Mr. Tudela, who is a very similar individual who comes very well, who has a broad background, who also is a no-nonsense individual. And I think it really goes towards why and how NMC has been so successful in the past 20 some odd years, is that you guys always seem to cultivate honest, sincere individuals who come from a strong leadership background, but who are also willing to work for the betterment of our community, ultimately, and the higher education of the people of our community. With that being said, I only have a few questions. If given the opportunity, what type of degree offerings would you like to see offered, not only to NMC as a whole, but specifically to the people of Tinian?
Thank you, Senator Neighbors. Tinian has a small population. So whenever we decide to offer courses at Tinian campus, the college is not there to make a profit. The college is there to assist the community's needs in training or educating our workforce for our economy. So, but still, we really need to look at the cost of offering a course. Now, if somebody can subsidize that at some point, we will offer as many courses here as possible, even if it's just 1 or 2 students attending. So we used to have a formula at the college where we have a break-even point. So to offer a particular course and to hire the adjunct faculty who will teach that course and the number of students that are enrolled in that course, if we do a break-even, that's good enough. We will offer that particular course. And at the time, back in the 80s, late 80s and early 90s, we were doing that. We had maybe 70 to 80 students taking courses because we were offering it at a convenient time. Most of these students come from employment. So the logical thing to do is to offer courses after 4:30, all the way up to maybe 8 o'clock, and finding the adjunct faculty that we have on island, or sometimes flying them in from Saipan if that's feasible. But so in that regard, I want to work with our president in bringing that concept back again, because I know that there's plans to build dormitories or more facilities, and I would like for ROTA students or Kinan students to be able to go to the main campus and experience that campus life. But many times, a lot of our students are unable to go and live in Saipan, or they're employees of the government or private sector that can only take a few courses at night. That's what we have to look at here on Kinan. If the opportunity for dormitories for our students to comfortably go to Saipan, I like to see that also. My youngest daughter will be going up to the main campus. I'm pretty sure, as a freshman, I'm pretty sure that she would like to stay here with us and just take the courses here. But she has an opportunity to go and experience the main campus. But what I'm saying is, there are courses that we can offer here. Majority of it has to be taken up at the main campus. And what I meant in my prior speech is that a lot of students, it's hard, even if they're millennials, to do virtual courses. They would like to see the instructor, so in-person class to me is a lot better than virtual. If we can bring a few courses here for our students to even complete their general education requirements and then go up to the main campus to take courses towards their degree, I'd like to see that happen also. When I mentioned certification programs and training programs, some may not have an opportunity to take college courses, but would like some certification, let's say a computer program or anything that will assist them in their skills at work. Those are the kind of programs that we can bring in without the college having to spend a lot of money. So those are some of the plans I think we can work, or we can bring some of those programs again and expand course offerings here for those who are working and cannot be at the main campus. So I hope that answers your question, but my interest will be both, at the main campus and at the campus on Kenyan for students that cannot leave home.
Thank you. Yes, that answers it well. And again, I thank you for accepting the nomination. I know that there's a lot of things going on, and this is going to be an added responsibility that again is not paid for. This is like a service that you provide on your own time. And as a member of the community, I appreciate it that you're willing to take on this extra responsibilities. I know that your extensive experience, not only within NMC, but outside NMC, will be a tremendous contribution to the board, and I have nothing but support for your nomination. I have no more questions. I yield back, Chair.
Thank you, Senator Neighbors. Now I would like to recognize the floor leader of the Senate, Senator Vinny Sablan from the island of Saipan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon to all who are joining us today in this public hearing. It's such a honor to be back in Tinian. I never passed up the opportunity to come to Tinian, whether it's for work or for just to visit. So I like to give thanks to everyone for always opening their arms to all of us that are visiting here. Good afternoon to the mayor, Representative San Nicolas, who just stepped out, Chairman Santos, the NMC President, Dr. G, and your leadership, the staff, friends and family, and most important to all the wonderful people of Tinian. Good afternoon, Mr. Singh. After hearing all the testimonies and reading your resume, it looks like you have the tools to really drive forward the vision of NMC, right? And continue that sail. But I'd like to give gratitude to you for accepting the nomination. I'd like to reference your resume, impressive resume. I was looking at your, all your education experiences. You've been a business owner, you've been in the military, of course, your education and work experience, just to mention a few. I'm sure you can really, or the college and the community of Tinian and the CNMI could really appreciate and use your the tools you have to drive the college forward. I had questions, but your personal testimony kind of answered almost all my questions. So really listening to that was very comforting for me. Again, your testimony, it looks like your public service journey will come to full circle in serving as a Board of Regents for the Northern Marianas College. You've been a student at the college. You've been one of the directors and leaders of the college, not to mention all your other community involvement. And at this time, it's a very exciting time for our college, right? With the accomplishment of the 8-year accreditation, and I want to give kudos and congratulations again to Dr. G and your staff, your leadership, and everyone that worked behind the scenes to gain that accomplishment. Exciting that NMC will be pushing through with the NMC facilities and strategic master plan. And I hope that a lot of those plans, I hope that Tinian and Rhoda are a big portion of that, those plans. And listening to Dr. G, who shares your commitment in improving post-secondary education programs for the community and future of Tinian is comforting. I agree with you on the significance and importance of face-to-face learning. And I, for one, choose face-to-face learning over online learning. But it's been evident with the pandemic that that we have been facing. NMC has increased its online learning and educational capabilities, and I think that's important to keep, right? Face-to-face experiences in post-secondary education facilities, good for the newly graduated students from high school. I got my degree through an online program just because of the route that I took, right? Having children and working, and then I decided to get a degree, and that's why I see the importance also for the online enrollment, right? So I have one question with that with NMC increasing its online learning and educational capabilities, do you see a shift in face-to-face enrollment numbers here in Tinian opposed to online enrollees? Because of that option, no? Some people like to just take courses from the comfort of their own home, through even their phones or, their laptops, and technology has really taken us, to the next level of education. How do you see, or how do you, in your personal opinion, how do you think we can strike a balance between the importance of face-to-face experience opposed to the online educational service that NMC provides?
Thank you, Senator, and I appreciate that question. What I know, and having talked to the students nowadays, and they're all millennials, they're savvy with technology, and they like that. But I think I have a sense that even me, that campus experience, being on campus and meeting other people and just being able to face your professor and converse or debate, I think that's a really nice experience for a young college student. Now, for a lot of working like us who still want to pursue some kind of post-secondary education, that is very convenient. So I think we do have to strike a balance between face-to-face and virtual online. And one of the things when we pioneered distance education back then with President Agnes McPheeters was to offer courses that cannot be offered here at the main campus, but still have that experience of face-to-face, because with distance education, you can actually see your classmates, you can see your instructor, you can converse back and forth. Now, we refine that and fine-tune it with the kinds of technology that would make it very comfortable. That too can work here. It has worked in other parts of the world and in the United States, where rural communities are afforded the opportunity for post-secondary education or any kind of training activities. So it's important for both, and I think we need to strike a balance and offer for those who wants to go to the main campus for face-to-face, but we also have to consider the ones that cannot leave. We're lucky. My daughter is leaving to go to Saipan only because it's feasible. My other son is in Saipan that is renting an apartment with an extra room, so she can then have that room. But what about for those who don't have families in Saipan or would need to rent to take a course at a very high price? That's another added burden to the students. So having a balance between distance education, online, and some face-to-face on campus in the classroom. I think if we can find that kind of a formula where we can service everybody, I think it's good for the community and it's good for the college, and will benefit the students more. So you're kind of serving a more wider audience in post-secondary education. Those who are working or mothers who are, raising a family that can still take one or two courses, distance education or online will work good for them. Those who are adventurers that are just coming out of high school, want to leave mom and dad and go experience, city life in Saipan at the main campus, that too is open for them. If there is a dormitory that is affordable, like I said, my daughter is lucky in that regard that, we're maintaining an apartment in Saipan for my other son, and she can piggy right on that without extra added costs for us. But for those who don't have anybody and have to rent out a very expensive apartment, that can be a financial burden to the parents. So we strike a balance, and I think working with a very able president, and one of the reasons that I was really happy to accept, not because it's going to be an easy job, but it's going to be a lot easier as a region having Dr. G run the college, because I know he can also guide the regions in following the plans that's already laid down. And I gladly accept, because I know Dr. G is an able president that can move us forward into the 21st century post-secondary institution. So glad to be here.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, for your answer. And I asked that because initially, even pre-pandemic, in the last decade, right, or when online post-secondary educational services were launched, right, it was kind of aimed towards the working adult, or the working parent and stuff. And then we came into pandemic, and we saw that there was online learning at the elementary level, which was very, very interesting to see for all of us that have children that were in the elementary level and in the junior high level and going into the high school level. So I wanted to ask that question because, just kind of looking forward and really seeing the possibilities of online learning, we're going to start competing with post-secondary educational facilities and universities around the world. And I think it's very vital that the regions and the leadership of Dr. G really sit down and craft out with the strategic master plan coming into play, really craft out a model and structure of curriculum to make sure that we have that healthy population of face-to-face learning, and then also take advantage of the online capabilities of what NMC can offer through the different programs and degree programs, and also any new degree programs that that will come forth in the future. So I just think we need to really grasp onto that, right, and not wait for other universities to just wipe everybody out on an online capability and stuff. So if we can just kind of really keep that in mind and anticipate what we need to do to strike that balance between both online learning and the face-to-face learning. So I just wanted to bring that up because I really feel that that's going to be one of the factors in continuing the success of the college is striking that balance between both. And like you said, and I agree with you, Mr. Singh, it's gonna grow the student population because we're gonna be able to provide for for different students, right? Whether they just graduated from high school or they're working professionals. But I have no more questions. Like I said, you in your personal testimony and also your resume, you've answered a lot of the questions that I had for especially for the Tinian campus. And thank you, Ms. Sagun, also for for driving and leading the staff here, your wonderful staff. Behind every successful department and agency is really wonderful staff, and I want to give kudos to the staff of NMC for really doing your part. We all have different roles in ensuring that our society has a successful educational program, and I think everyone is really putting forth their strengths, and to listen to your testimony and your answers. I'm sure that you can really provide a valuable role and tool to service the people of Tinian and the people of the CNMI in providing a post-secondary experience for, for not just the kids right now or not just the adults right now, but in the future to come. And I think that's a great vision for CNMI, and it's a great vision for NMC, and just a great vision all around for all of us. So with that said, Mr. Chairman, I yield my time back to you, sir.
Thank you, Floor Leader. And again, good afternoon, Mr. Singh. I appreciate your patience. I know that we've canceled hearings that are supposed to happen earlier than today, but because of some issues that are beyond our control, and I appreciate your patient understanding, including the NMC staff, and especially President De Longuero. Thank you for being here to support the appointment that was submitted to our committee to entertain. And I don't have any question, but rather, since I know that Mr. Singh is very committed when it comes to something that he fully accepted to, to pursue for the benefit of our island and our students, our people. I've been asking for the longest time in regards to dormitory, that to alleviate the hardship of our kids, the island of Tinian and further south, the island of Rhoda, that are, that's the most trying time for them, is to go up and find some place to stay, and including transportation. But living on campus is, it's something that, a lot of us, our students will be probably going up, if not able to have it here, like what Mr. Singh have stated, that trying to get some of the courses down here in Tinian. But because of, I understand the funding is an issue, and I am pretty sure, I think accreditation also will come in place if it's not fit for full operation, right? But I would like to ask in regards to apprenticeship, because learning from some of the company here in the island of Tinian, especially the new project that is happening now, the Divert, I learned that some of our expert in operator, they won't be able to get the full per hour because they're not certified. So I would like to ask NMC to join force with NMTI, and perhaps they can work together. I know that you guys are collaborating with other institutions, including NMTI, for those that are not into academic, but rather like mechanic, electrician. No offense for the CW, but sooner or later, USCIS will not. We cannot guarantee that they will continue to, to consider giving us outside workforce. So we have to start looking at being dependable on our workforce, and those individuals that are still in the entry level, but they're professional operator. We can help them in getting them certified. I mentioned this back in Saipan in regards whether or not there is a way that we can certify these individuals in regards to apprenticeship program. I asked that we look into that, because this is what we're having, issue here with big companies that are in here and trying to recruit, and our people are on the entry level because of non-certified. So if that can be also included in the discussion with NMC, and see what NMC and NMTech can do to including those students that are coming out from high school, graduating, and not thinking about going off island to pursue a secondary. but rather staying back home because, you know, it's a moral culture that we like to continue to live with our family. And with that regards, we can help them by having that joint force with NMTI and NMC to look at those positions that are not academic, but rather, to fill those. And I think it's not bad to look into all those private sector to see what is missing, what problem they're having, so we can fill. Because nowadays we don't have any government retirement program anymore. We're all the same. Private and government are 401. Unless you're strong enough to be or healthy enough to reach for Social Security. But at this point, I think we should look into those and help one another. It's a very small community, and I think we can be able to work with the other entity to make sure, because the bottom line is only one cinema, and we educate our people and put them in a good position all in the private sector. I think this is good for the Commonwealth, not only for one island, but for everybody. So I just asked, I'm not trying to, it's just a suggestion from me personally, but I think we should start looking into that. And I'm very confident, Mr. Singh, that, and I know you, that when it comes to this kind of responsibility, you're very aggressive, and like what the president said, that you'll get things done, and I believe in that. It's just a matter of working together as a team that will make things happen. Because even though you're very committed and aggressive, if only working alone, I think it's not going to happen. But I hope that everyone will come together and work as one to make a better tomorrow and for our people. Thank you. You wish to say something?
Yeah, I appreciate the concern, Mr. Chairman, and I think you're talking about vocational training for some of our citizens who may not want to pursue educational, post-secondary education, but want to work with their hands so that we can enhance our workforce. And I appreciate that. Perhaps because right now vocational programs is part of a curriculum, I believe, with NMC, and so as NMTI under the enabling legislation that they are the vocational institute. Perhaps, if we've all put our heads together, that institute can be absorbed by NMC as an institute of vocational training, so that we don't duplicate efforts or competing interests in budgetary and personnel and all that. Much like Guam Community College, where they're involved by law and with budget, are responsible for vocational education at the high school level. They'll go in there, retrofit a classroom, provide the instruction, provide books, and have a vocational training, so that it is a feeder to Guam Community College for either for certification purposes that you're talking about, or apprenticeship program. That can, we all put our heads together, and we can, again, strike a balance where, NMTI can be an institute of NMC. I don't know. That's maybe a dream, but I think right now you have NMTI, you have vocational programs at NMC. It may be a competing interest, and that's why we're not coming out with a really good vocational programs, because we're all over the place. Perhaps if we can marry this together as an institute under one roof, NMC as the institute and NMTI is part of that, I think we can accomplish things. And I totally agree with you that a CW program is going to be ending, and we need to train our workforce. And so we're looking at the institution, that institution that would do that for us. Is it NMTI? Is it NMC? Is it both? Is it better to put them together? Perhaps. But I agree with you, and I appreciate that. And we will be looking into that. We will be, exploring those so that it benefits our workforce.
I appreciate Mr. saying, of course, I don't want NMC to be fighting with NMTI. Has been trying to sort of like try to mitigate the issue in the past, and we don't want that to come out to rise again and have a misunderstanding regards to, why duplicating of course, NMTI will not interfere with the police side, but rather, work with NMC. What MC is offering, make sure they're not doing the same thing, and compete with that regards, but rather to help one another to make sure that our workforce is available in when the time comes that we're not going to be given the opportunity to extend for whatever years that we need. We still haven't, and I know that we're still very far from being independent in workforce. That's why we have to continue to look into that matter and see how can we, alleviate some of those issues that are happening in our private sector. I know that government is it's bloated, and but private sectors are still, I think, lacking the workforce, especially construction. Some of our government employees. Probably if they offer those kind of vocational, courses, they will, come in and become electrician or mechanic or refrigeration, those kind of things that maybe if they're offered, probably they will accept it because, it's something that will be useful for their future, plan with their family rather than just community work services. So those are the things that I'm asking. How can NMTI and NMC be working together, but provided that they're not fighting over funding, but rather working together to to alleviate some of our big issues when the time comes that we're not. Like I said, we're not authorized by UACS to continue those CW program. At this time, I'd like to recognize Senator Carl Neighbors.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have a question. I really just wanted to reiterate something that was said in last week's appointment, is that if and when you're appointed, please know that we have an open door policy, whether it's to the local Tinian and Wigwam legislative delegation, Tinian leadership, or with the Senate and the legislative body as a whole. Whatever we can do to assist, to expedite, or to help you guys navigate through the waters and obstacles that come in front of you, please feel free to reach out. And whatever we can do, we're happy to help. Yield back, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Neighbors. Jolene, can you acknowledge those written comments?
Mr. Chairman, members of the Senate EAJ Committee, Mr. Singh, and members of the general public, in addition to the oral testimonies received today on the executive appointment of Mr. William Mendiola Singh to serve as a member of the Northern Marianas College Board of Regents, please be advised of one additional written testimony officially received in support of the appointee from Mr. Jose P. Kiyoshi, Tinian resident, personal testimony. At this time, no written testimony in opposition to the appointment of Mr. Singh has been received by the committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Jolene. Any other member wishes to? We're done. Thank you. At this time of public comments, I will take it. Let the record reflect that there are also written testimonies submitted from individuals in support of the appointee before this committee and will be included in the Senate Standing Committee recommendation report, along with all testimonies to be forwarded before the full Senate members in consideration for confirmation or rejection. And before we adjourn, I would like to extend on behalf of the members of the Executive Appointment and Government Investigation our sincere appreciation and gratitude to Governor Torres' representative, Mr. Jose M. De La Cruz, the appointee, Mr. William M. Singh, and most especially the members of the general public for your participation and involvement during this important public hearing process. I will certainly hope that we continue this dialogue of communication between us, the elected officials, and the public, to keep you abreast and informed of a current and future Senate hearings ahead that relates to public best interest. This concludes this public hearing for today. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to offer a motion to adjourn today's EAJI public hearing, subject to the call of the chair. So move.
There's a motion for adjournment and was seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. This public hearing is now adjourned. Thank you.